Welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel. I've got both Sherman and Slothy with me. Sherman, how you doing?
Good, tired. It's cold outside. I don't want to go outside anymore.
I feel it is miserable outside. It's supposed to be better this week though. But yeah, it's we're kind of in the middle of a cold snap.
I think I've gotten weaker. Like my cold resistance has gone down because it's like only like what feels like minus 26, but like last year we got up to like minus like 35, minus 40, and I'm like I can't take it right now. The older I get, my cold resistance goes down.
It dropped a lot. Like the temperature drops so quickly, right? And it's so easy to feel tired when that's going on as well. Like you just want to stay inside, you want to be warm, but also you just went through like the worst time of your year with work. I'm
still not done. I still have people yelling at me for stupid stuff.
Yeah, you got more patience than me.
Oh, no, I don't. I just don't yell back because I'm trying to be professional, but you guys hear my rants.
I couldn't do it. I got too much of a temper to be yelled at by people for work. No one pays me enough for that.
Fair.
And Slothy, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad. Short week for me. Got Tuesday, Wednesday off, and also not really loving the cold, but it's better than minus 40. So got that going for us.
That's fair. You're normally more outside, hey?
Yeah, I was outside all day, every day this week.
I would not enjoy that. I've been sick since like right before Christmas. By the way, yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to everyone. For that, this is like our first official one back of the new year. It's going to be our normal rant, just our unhinged manifesto on magic, if I could say it that way, you know. But yeah, no, it's been good. I was still working while I was sick, right? Because I don't work around people, so it's kind of nice. So yeah, I can just kind of relax in the truck, and it's not so bad. But no, other than that, just good holidays. Got a little bit of time off. Did lots of like cooking recently, and playing that. I got a Legion Go, so I've been playing just a ton of games while I'm sitting at work, just sick and dying. It's been a good time playing a lot of Diablo 4. That's
such a good game.
Wow.
It's yeah, I know. The fact that this thing can run Diablo 4, Path of Exile 2, like all of those. I bought a keyboard and mouse so that I can sit when I'm really, really playing for a long time. I can sit and play like League and StarCraft at work. It's pretty great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I work very hard. You have to believe me. But yeah, no one's yelling at me. I'm just sitting there. Well, people in League are yelling at me, but that's normal.
That's League. There's a reason why I don't play League.
Oh, it's the worst game. It's so funny. Arcane was such a popular show this year, and it just led to a huge influx of players. And it's such a bad game. Everyone's so mean.
Yeah, it's so toxic.
Oh, it's
like, learn your character, stay in your lane.
Oh, everyone's real mean.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people in this game know my mom. That's interesting. Interesting news for me.
I thought I heard her mention that she plays League.
No, yeah, everyone's yeah. It's quite the game, but I like it. I love all the, like, you see all the tweets and all the memes of just like, hey, just because you liked Arcane does not mean you will like League. It is a cesspool.
Yeah, so true.
But I kind of like it. But no, yeah, Diablo 4 has been a surprisingly fun game. I didn't really give Diablo 3 a chance ever. This is just like a personal rant of mine. But I really like Diablo 2. I played so much Diablo 2. And then I wanted Diablo 3 to be Diablo 2. And especially on like release date, it just wasn't. And then I just didn't give it any chance as a game because I was like, well, I don't want that. So
I think when I was playing that most, because I was kind of the opposite. And I do love Diablo 2 as well, but Diablo 3, I was like Paragon 1600 and
it's so many people I know like put so
It's-
much effort into it, especially like when
Yeah.
the Reaper of Souls came out. They're like, this is such a fun game. We should play. Like it's been cool. Like I said, I've been really, really enjoying Diablo 4. The Legion's such a cool little computer. Like it's pretty wild how good it can run these games.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I really, really like those like ARPGs. And then Path of Exile 2 is a fun game too. It's nice that I can actually play like normal Path of Exile as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a cool thing. The number of games that I can play on this small handheld computer is crazy. I would have lost my mind over this as a child. So we're definitely living in the future. I keep saying it for the video and stuff. I'll show everyone what these little things look like. They're just like a little handheld computer like this here. And yeah, they're just really, really nice. They have got like a detachable controller, kind of like the Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of them. But no, speaking of things that I am a fan of, let's talk about our quick sponsor of our video. As always, we have our House of Cards. They are great. It's a new year, which means new decks. So go to House of Cards, promo code IT99. You will get a discount at checkout. It supports us. It gets you cards. They're fast. Canada Post has been kind of horrible lately, but you know what? Shipping's still good, and they're back onto it. So again, go to houseofcards.ca, and then AI Armor. They're just wonderful sleeves. They're like my favorite sleeves that I've been using. I need to stock up on a bunch of the new ones. All these guild ones are really, really cool. I need those Is It ones for the new Niv Mizzet. So yeah, you can go to houseofcards.ca again. Great promo code. AIarmor.com. No promo code needed because they're already one of the best prices in the game. And with that, let's talk about Magic 2024. It was quite a year. There's really like a lot to get to, and Sherman's specific quote to me was, "Hey, we should write this down because you're going to go on crazy tangents." And then I just didn't do that. So here I am going on crazy tangents. I'll let you guys give like a quick overview. Like, what did you think of the year just in general?
Slothy, go ahead first. Let's go.
Sure. There's a lot that I liked about 2024 in Magic, and there's a lot that I really didn't like in 2024 Magic. I think that there's a lot of fun and really well thought out things that they implemented and brought in. Bloomborough. But then it was just a high ceiling, low floor year for me, to kind of sum it up.
I think
Yeah,
that's
it was like a roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like either it was like something that was very, very successful, or it just dropped like a rock. No one cared.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other. There was like no middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, and people could not be chill this year. Because let's face it, like major things happened this year.
Yeah, there's
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of things to get to. I will say straight out, if this year didn't have Bloomborough, this would be quite a different opinion from me.
I would have hated every single thing this year.
I would say that Bloomborough really, really put in work. Bloomborough's really, really carrying weight this year for my opinions.
I think kind of the last quarter of the year or last third of the year is like that.
That's fair.
With Bloomborough Duskmourn Foundations was a very solid trilogy in my opinion.
Yeah. Foundations was pretty phenomenal. It was let's start on a good point. I think we all have a similar opinion of Foundations. It brought a pretty crazy amount of reprints. The Jumpstart product that came with it was just really good. Like there was tons of great new commander options in both. tons of great cards for Commander, tons of great reprints. Like I haven't seen many people complaining, "Oh, this Foundations box sucked. There was nothing in it." Like it was generally a good set to get cards from, what be it singles, be it cracking. If you got Foundation stuff as a gift, then like there was definitely a lot of really, really cool stuff from Foundations, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it felt like the first half of the year, as the releases were coming out, it was like going down. Like no one really cared. No one cared. And then once Bloomberg hit, everyone started to care again, and everything started to get better.
Yeah.
Because like you had like start of the year you had like murders, and then it just went down.
Well, I've got I have our 2024 lineup here. I've got it pulled up. So let me read you guys what we had in 2024. We had Ravnica Remastered, Murders at Karlov Manor, Fallout, Thunder Junction, Modern Horizons 3, Assassin's Creed, Bloomburrow, Duskmorn, and then we had our Foundations. Foundations wasn't like listed as an official release yet.
Yeah.
Just from their Q1 thing.
Like it was overall, it was just like no one cared. Modern Horizons 3, everyone cared because it wasn't just Commander players. It was Modern, like everyone, right? Which and it pretty much broke Modern. Let's face it. Like we hear stories. So,
well, even without hearing stories, right? Like Nadu's going to have to be something we talk about too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking hell. So, like let's just talk about Nadu right now. Like that that was just bad.
There's no playtesting done, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they came out saying that as an apology, like we're sorry we didn't playtest it, blah 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 blah. It's like still like I can understand if they didn't have time or the money or whatever. Like I get it, and things fall through the cracks, and it is what it is. Like, and they left it out saying like, okay, we're gonna see how it impacts the format, like all the different formats, and see how bad it gets, and maybe people will chill. No one had any chill.
No.
At all. Zero chill.
No, Nadu just hit the ground and then everything exploded.
Yeah. Well, it was just again a 3-drop commander at 3/4 flying, like so it couldn't be lightning bolted out of the air. It enabled insane draw, and not only this insane draw, you weren't penalized with things like an Orcish Bowmaster because it was put into your hand.
Yeah.
So you're not being penalized for the normal deterrence to draw. It's not dying to the normal removal, and it's land ramping you. Like it was just it was just too big of one. But as they roll out sets at like such a high pace, balancing cards is less and less possible, right? Like that was what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with Foundation sets. So there's 9 sets this year, right? Like that's nearly a set a month. And when you have a release schedule like that, like how do you balance around that? Because most of us, like if I build a commander deck, right? Generally a month of time playing it, even if I play it every weekend, that's like 4 or 5 games with the deck. That's not even enough for me to understand how good the deck is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It takes time. And with the rate that they were pumping stuff out, it's just not a luxury they could afford.
Well, and with that point too, I want to talk about a little bit about the releases. I don't like the Fallout stuff. I don't like the Assassin's Creed stuff, but I can say straight out that they were very quality releases. Those were good sets that had just I think really good cards. I think there's lots of people like Slothy. I think you're one of the people who likes the IP of those, right?
Yes, I do enjoy both of those IPs, but I was kind of mentioning to Sherman beforehand, I'm kind of getting a little tired of all the Universes Beyond stuff personally.
Oh, yep.
And like looking at the roadmap for this year, half of the main sets that they're releasing are Universes Beyond. And I have a big fear that that's just going to snowball.
Yeah. That's
I have no problem with it. I don't care. I just want to play.
yeah. I don't know. I like to play, but like it is kind of jarring. Like I said this when I was on Rogue's Passage. We did like a live one at one of the events, and I said this basic same thing. Like I don't think it's gonna be fun to be like I move to attach Squidward's spatula, and I'm like I cast Death of Uncle Ben on it, and then like it's like Spider-Man. It's you know what I mean. It's just not. It's not really
I get it.
quite for me because it seems like a lot of these are
I
like just
get it.
fan design sets, right? And then like
Yeah.
I don't know.
So every time I hear stuff like this, I tell people like, and I try to remind them like, look, okay, why is this happening? Okay, there's two main reasons. Okay, one, Hasbro likes to make money, and this is a way to make money is to try to bring in more people. Sure, you're gonna have people that are leaving. Like I have a friend that's leaving because of the of all the Universes Beyond stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people that are coming in that are having these ideas, these are things from their childhood. So they're gonna bring in stuff that they enjoy and whatnot. Like they're like in their 30s, in their 40s, they're in power at Hasbro. That's what they're gonna bring in, and we're gonna see more of that. It's like same thing with movies. Why did we have a resurgence in movies like a few years ago of certain things like G.I. Joe and stuff like that? It's because these people grew up with them and they're coming in and they're like, hey, like I want to bring this back because I grew up on this and I have very, very fond nostalgic memories. Nostalgia is a big, big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, like we're going to see more of it. So that's why I don't care. I'm just like, whatever. Because
but
I see that everywhere in. Sorry?
I was gonna say, but like I do think that like that nostalgia is starting to degrade the quality of the game. It's nice as like a gimmick every now, but these are going to be main sets, right? These aren't going to be things that you like with a secret lair. Yeah, I might not like a X-Men secret lair, right? But I can avoid buying that if I want to. But if I'm a standard player or a modern player and it's like something that's actually good and legal in these formats, then I start having to play these, right? Like nothing stops them from making SpongeBob just a modern banger card, and then suddenly, like it's just like okay, well, like my deck's got to run 4 of SpongeBob, and if you don't want your deck to run SpongeBob, then that's not really wonderful. Like I said, I find that Universes Beyond has gone beyond what it was intended to do, and I do think it's degrading the format because, like, again, I didn't buy any Fallout. I bought a few singles from Assassin's Creed. There's a few cool things, but I think I only, from actual Fallout cards, I think the only ones I own are like a Marcus the Mutant Mare, which I bought as a single, and then I bought like a Wise Mothman to start building a deck. I was gonna just like raw build my own mill version of it, and then I just haven't built it yet. But there's so many sets. Like I've been traditionally a player who's like I usually spend $1,000 to $2,000 on like a release date, cracking boxes, cracking that stuff, and it's just gone down and down because the quality of the set I'm getting is just getting lower and lower. The commander decks they've been pumping out are great, and I think that there's like some really good value in those. But again, like I didn't get any. Was there commander decks for Assassin's Creed or no?
No, there was not.
Okay, but there was for Fallout. I didn't get any of those, which I partially regret. Some of them look cool.
Yeah, the Fallout decks were definitely cool, but I think that you kind of, at least in my opinion, hit it on the head where you were saying that once in a while is a cool thing. But if you're having 50% of the year's sets be something that's just completely not related, for lack of better words, it just kind of leads to a lot of whiplash, in my opinion, because if you're going into Magic, like you were saying with your SpongeBob thing, and you're trying to play with all these things, and you might not, say for example, there's a Spider-Man set coming out later this year. some of those cards could be very, very viable in more competitive formats. And if you don't like those, you're just kind of SOL. It's not going to be viable, or you're going to have to play them regardless.
Yeah, there's no plan for a reskin of these, as far as I know. You know.
Yeah, and that's kind of one thing that I liked about. Also, I've got a point to make about Secret Lairs later, but that's one thing that I liked about like the Stranger Things Secret Lair,
The
the
Walking Dead.
Walking
Yeah,
Dead,
that's the
this
first one.
Street Fighter one, where they were all these cards that you could get on the side. It didn't take up a set slot,
Mm-hmm.
and if you didn't want that version of them, you could just wait a couple months to a year, whatever, and then get the in-universe versions.
Yeah, like I was
But
I was a big fan of though. Pardon me with my sickness. We're all a little sick here. I think I was gonna say it was nice to be able to have those as kind of like a little included bonus card. You could get
Yeah.
a Magic version because Magic is it's not just a game of cardboard. It's also a visual game, right? A lot of times that I'm building decks, it's because I like the look of a card. I think it looks cool. I like the artwork. I like the general art style, right? And not every set has nailed all of the art, but I think a big problem I have, especially with the 2024 release, is experimental's nice. There you can really go right with experimental, but as a great example, I don't want to hear the top 3 bands I listen to make jazz albums. They might have a great time doing it. They might just be wonderful jazz musicians, but that's not the
Yeah.
music I listen to, right?
Yeah,
And it's
that's not why you listen to them in the first place.
yeah, and that's kind of reflected in this. Like Murders at Karlov Manor had phenomenal commander decks, but I didn't really want a Clue Magic the Gathering set, right? It felt a little campy to me. I didn't like a lot of it, but I was like, you know what? Okay, I can embrace this. And then like they're like, what if it was just like Rakdos in a cowboy hat and we continued to try push Kellen as a character, which no one likes. No one likes Kellen. I'll say this to my grave. No one enjoys Kellen as a character. Why are they trying? It's such a boring story element. No one's like, there's no character development. I love the lore. I look at all the lore stuff. Got another podcast about the lore that I should start doing again. But it's like Kellen is just, it's just a bland, oh, he's the son of Oko. It's okay. All right. Like there's no identity to it. There's no crisis. Like what is Kellen trying to overcome? You just going plane to plane. It's like, oh, I'm in a Clue set, and now suddenly I'm in Thunder Junction, and now I'm in a horror movie. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's not cohesive. Like I said before, they could do so much with the story. They rushed. This is a tangent. They rushed the end of the Phyrexian block, like just defeating the Phyrexians. Kind of there. They kind of just retconned everything serious that would have happened in that. And they're just like, oh yeah, like Nissa's not gone, Karn's not, like it's boring. They just kind of wrecked the storytelling in pursuit of pumping these other sets out, and now they're just trying to like push, in my opinion, again. And I'm often wrong, so if I'm wrong, other people disagree with me. Let me know in comments. But they're just boring characters. There's nothing of substance to them. Like if you've been playing a Magic for a long time, right? You kind of grew up with like a Gatewatch going on, right? Like you grew up seeing the trials and tribulations of that. One of the things I liked so much about Strixhaven, for instance, right, is a big part of the set is Liliana trying to get over the death of Gideon in the story because she feels guilted by it. Gideon made the sacrifice, so she's gone to Strixhaven to try and like talk to Beladros and like their huge like magical archive, and trying to find a way to like bring Gideon back to like write like a big regret. And everyone I know has some regrets in their life. They can feel that, they can empathize with that story. Not everyone I know has a Wild West adventure. Yeah, you know, like it's just it sounds silly to dumb it down like that, but it's just, you know, not everyone I know is involved in a murder mystery. I can't really put myself in the shoes of like the whodunit and stuff. And again, the decks were awesome. Like the blame game deck, like that's the
Nelly Borka.
Yeah, Nelly Borka. Like that was a cool one. I really liked the new color flip that they did with like the morph mechanic and stuff. Like there was some really, really cool decks. The Clue deck was phenomenal. And they did the one thing nice about Murders of Karlov Manor was they did at least put clues ahead, right? Like there's a little more to do clues. Like I said before, what's the one you cast all the time?
Officious Interrogation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a cool card.
Yeah.
Like that card really puts in work. It does a lot of like really great stuff. Its individual triggers are a neat mechanic. There's cool of that, but like I said, like Magic is an art game to me. Like at its core, I think it's really cool when somebody has one of the people we met. One of the videos coming out is someone had a full Ravnica themed deck, and it was like serialized awesome cards from Ravnica, legendary creatures from the plane of Ravnica. It was one of the coolest decks I've ever seen because I love a good theme.
Yeah.
Right. And these things just kind of don't feel like they have a theme. Like Ravnica Remastered was nice, but I played heavily in that time. So for me, there's no cards to really chase. You know, I've got ample shocklands. I'm not in the place where I want to crack for more shocklands. That's just not personally for me. Murders was okay. It was an all right set. It brought a few interesting cards. Fallout, I just didn't get any of. Thunder Junction, I thought was horrendous. Again, not a bad commander deck. You go ahead. Sorry.
It's kind of like going back a little bit to what you were saying. It definitely feels like with how they're doing things, like I would say pre War of the Spark or pre Strixhaven, the lore and the story and the meaning behind of it was very, the characters are the first things built, and then the setting is built around the characters. Whereas with things like Kellen the Cowboy, they build the settings and then are just plopping the characters in, and it's a totally different feeling. Where with kind of like you were saying with Liliana going and trying to find the archive to bring back Gideon because of guilt, that's a very, very well done story point. It makes sense to what she's doing, why she would be there.
Man,
Rakdos is just in a cowboy hat.
Yeah, Rakdos in a cowboy hat. There's just too many Kellen cards. Like I'm going through. We've got Boros Kellen, Mono Red Kellen. We have Simic Kellen. We have Selesnya Kellen.
There's a Jeskai Kellen as well, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
Or Bant.
Yeah, there's Bant, Boros. Was it Simic? Mono Red, I think. I was looking at them just because, like, I told Daniel I might try to build one just because, but the Bant one's the best one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna say it's like they don't even have a good theme. Like they have Kellen equipment, they have map token Kellen, which okay, cool. They have destroy an artifact. If you controlled it, draw a card Kellen, and you can play an additional land. Like it's just the Bant one is okay. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may cast a permanent with equal or lesser from your hand without paying its cost. That's okay. Especially at a 3-drop, it's all right. But again, it's not on theme of the card. Why would I care about the card, you know? If I like Tiny Bones, for instance, right? Then Tiny Bones gives me something like if I want discard, Tiny Bones has a cool mechanic of discard already built into it, right?
Yeah.
I know I know that it's going to be a new discard themed card, or like commander generally speaking. Like there's a theme, right?
Yeah.
If I got like just a great example, I really love Belladross Witherbloom. I loved the Strixhaven stuff. But if they're like, oh, there's a new Belladross card coming out, and they hyped me up, I'd be like, let's go. And then it just like turns out that it's like a landfall Simic commander. I would be like, what is this trash? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't need another Simic landfall commander. Give me like this like cool life gain, life loss thing. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, like they seem to have very little, and admit there might be a lore reason behind it I haven't really kept up in a while, but it really seems like they don't have much direction with things like Kellen, because like you were saying with Tiny Bones, or another example would be like Niv Mizzet.
Mm-hmm.
All of the cards, or most of the cards, you can kind of see what they were going for and find the through line.
They're thematic, right? The
Yeah.
new Niv Mizzet is really interesting because generally speaking, like you draw and you do damage, whereas this one is opposite. You have to do damage and then draw. So it's given a new like fresh take on Niv Mizzet where you can run like silly decks that are like mana barbs, like your
Yeah.
Zozu the Punisher kind of things, so that you're constantly drawing and draining. Like you can have like a group slug one. You can have one that's slinging around lightning bolts and bolt waves and stuff. And it's like a cool take on Niv Mizzet, right? But it's not like a full change of the identity and stuff, right? It's not just like Niv Mizzet's now a zombie commander, and you're like, where did this come from?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like I was saying with the release set, Bloomborough was phenomenal. I think it's one of the best selling sets of all time. Like Foundations also sold crazy. Bloomborough was just like really good, and it was I've said this a bunch of times. It's the first Magic set that's felt like a Magic set in a while. I want to give my credit where credit is due. I think that they just killed it with the Bloomborough set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I remember the three of us and Brian were sitting down for Chinese food when the first cards of this were spoiled.
Yeah.
And all four of our eyes widened immediately. And they just knocked it completely out of the park with Bloomborough.
What was kind of nice too, at least I think, was there wasn't much like you have to have chase cards in it, because there's a lot of sets that are I need it cards, right? And it kind of they keep ramping up the power, and they keep doing that. There's like that's been kind of a little side piece for me. It's been kind of a problem because I've got so many decks that I just it's overwhelming to try keep up with the release schedule, because there's so many cards that are just clearly better than what I have in a deck. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and I'm trying to balance the like I really like to this year, like, well, last year 2024 specifically, I really brought that power down of what I was putting in, especially like playing alongside Sherman, playing alongside you and everything like that. I stopped putting these like silly high power cards in. I started building like sillier decks with like just like little rocks, like sky diamonds, fire diamonds, and stuff like that. Like I really tuned the arms race down, and it's been some of the most fun games I've had, because when I'm behind, it's hilarious to like top deck something that's just not good enough, right? And it's so funny. People laugh. They kind of pity it a little bit. It's just been fun to bring it down, and all of these cards keep being like foot on the gas pedal cards of like, this will make your deck better. I get a lot of comments from people who listen to the show. You should be running this. Why doesn't that have a doubling season and stuff like that? Like, I get it. I understand that a doubling season is good in a token deck, but not every token deck I find needs a doubling season, you know? So with the ramp up of that, it's been kind of exhausting. And I found Bloomborough wasn't that. Bloomborough didn't really have a lot of like, wow, this is such a powerful card, I have to put it in like 30 decks. I thought it was balanced nicely around a story. I thought the art direction was really cool. I really liked it's like even if you don't know the lore, right? Its base theme of these like tiny critters fighting these big huge animals. I just liked it. Yeah, that's how I feel about that one.
Yeah, Bloomborough was definitely a massive bright spot, especially compared to earlier in the year.
Bloomberg's the only set I bought this year.
Yeah,
I bought some singles. I got a few really cool commander decks this year, like I said, and I was really surprised at the quality of commanders that came out, but But I
Oh
just
yeah,
like there's nothing in a Thunder Junction box that I really wanted in my collection, you know?
yeah, 100%. And like yeah, like you were just mentioning, the commander decks that we got this year were very good. Like Valgavoth, right out of the box, was like I played it right out of the box for the first time at the Calgary event, and it kept up just fine.
Valvagoth is great.
And you've also got um like Winter's a fun one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen some cool ones and stuff, but like even right now, oh there we go. I did like one thing from Thunder Junction. I'm just scrolling through the mythics
Yeah.
because to me they were not really exciting. And I do really like the Get Rog Ravenous Ride. I think that's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
One of the games we played at the event, I played it into 2 decks punishing draw. That was a little rough.
That was the one where it was you, Sherman, and Dean, right?
Yeah, and I just died. I think Sherman was playing the Zozu deck too.
Yeah, yeah, he
Put
was.
down 10 lands and take 20 life. Yeah. It was a bit. But no, like it's
You,
just there's the as far as release schedule goes, I haven't been a fan of it for a while. It's too much. There's no time to digest it. It's constantly moving and moving. And again, if you wanted to, even if you wanted to build a commander deck of like every time you buy, right?
mhm.
That's 9 commander decks this year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that's a lot.
that's a tough pill to swallow as somebody who's trying to play on a budget of things that are just never ending. Like everything is getting more and more expensive and busy just in general, like life in general.
Hmm. Well, that's kind of why I think that mine and Sherman's discussion about jank last week is going to be very helpful in 2025, because then you can just kind of go and think about these things differently and ask yourself the question, do I really need these? Like you were saying earlier, do I really need this doubling season?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I really need this Jessica's Will, for example?
Yeah.
Practice self control, you know. Yeah, just magic freeze.
I,
Yeah.
I do really like that magic freeze. Like I said, there's so many of my decks that it's overwhelming. I can't keep up with a update schedule, and so I'm not. They're just decks that are what they are. They're kind of classic timepieces and remind me of like what was going on at the time of the sets. Like it's kind of nice to. It's like an old song, you know. Like you hear it and you're like, oh, this is what was going on in my life then, right?
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. You kind of put yourself at a piece in your history.
Yeah. What did you think of this release schedule, Sherman?
Um, it was crazy. Like I was disappointed with like Assassin's Creed because like it was like 7 cards per booster.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So and yeah, but like with the release schedule, it's too much. That mixed in with the secret layers, and that was a fiasco too.
Yeah.
So like they need to calm down on the secret layers.
Yeah.
So
They need to calm down on the secret layers, and they also need to not make them limited run. That is a massive downside in my opinion. And
yeah, but like they did that because they said like it like they did a little limited run. It helps them send out everything faster because before they did this, decided to do a limited run. It was taking like anywhere between like a year to a year and a half before you got your cards.
oh yeah, but at the same time,
But then you still got them.
is speed better than accessibility?
Yeah, because like
Like if you've got the Marvel stuff selling out in like 2 hours and then people are putting it up on eBay for 4 times the price.
Once again, you don't have to buy it.
No.
but a lot of people did
People
want
need
that one.
people need to practice self control Or guess what? Print them out.
Yeah.
Right? Just
Yeah.
print it out. Talk to your group. Be like, hey guys, I really want this card. I'm waiting for the price to drop or for someone to sell it and everything so I can grab it. Okay, just the one card. Can I just print it out and play it as a proxy because I really, 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 really want it, right?
I've got like popped up on the video here. The Storm card, the single for Storm's $100 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
We spend money on stupider stuff.
But
right?
that's what I mean. A recent card that isn't format breaking being $100 is like I can understand a Mana Crypt being $100, right? Like it's good, it's strong, but like
it's established.
Yeah, this is just a commander.
Okay, so history lesson. Okay, not even history lesson. Let's look in the past. Okay, let's look at the PS5. When it first came out, its MSRP was like what, $900 Canadian. Okay. When it first came out, and it was during COVID, it was hard to find a supply, all that stuff. So it was super, super limited. Scalpers were selling them for like $1,600 to $2,000. Like there was even like there was something in the news in the UK where like there was video footage of people literally climbing onto a truck while it was in transit to break into it on the highway to get in and steal PS5s. Okay. How many years has it been? 2 years, 3 years since, whatever. Who cares? But like it's dropped down dramatically, and all the scalpers are suffering because they can't get rid of them because they're so low price now, and there's such a supply.
But
okay, yes, we all want to be early adopters. We all want to be there, be the first ones to grab it, be the first ones to experiment, be the first ones to play it, stuff like that. Okay, everyone has FOMO. I get it. But there's nothing stopping me from printing this out and being, guys, let me play with this.
Well, like I do like that one, but like with FOMO, this is a real fear of missing out, because if you don't get them, you don't get them. They're not reprinting the secret layers. Like I understand that like the PS5 stuff has come down, but that's because they're still making PS5s, right? They're not giving us another chance to get these cards. They're not like, you know what, we're gonna do another run
that we know of.
No, that's their guarantee. Their guarantee with secret layer is that they're one-off prints. So they become a pseudo reserve list, because if they try to reprint those unique cards from a secret layer, they're gonna get sued. That's the selling point of them, is that like the secret layer. Yeah, it's supposed to be if you want them, you get them and everything. The move back to them. A really good example is they started making secret layer commander decks. And they did it with like alternate arts. They have the cat one, the cat dog one. And Rin and Ciri. And that's such a cool deck. And by the time I saw that, it was just gone. It was just gone. You can't really get it. You can find it like priced up, but they're not going to remake that deck, right? That artwork, it's all exclusive to that secret layer. Like if you like it, that was your chance to get it, right? So like it's not just a normal FOMO. Like this is like real. You're missing out. Like you are actually missing out on this one.
I get that, but like once again, it doesn't stop them from remaking the card and naming it something different. Yeah, they're not gonna make any more of like the Monty Python secret layers. Yes, they're not gonna make any more of the Ghostbusters secret layers. Blah, blah, blah. I totally get that, right? But there's nothing stopping Wizards from reprinting the card with a different name.
But that's not that's not the point in it. The point is this specific art. If you like this like version of, let's say, Jetmir, you can no longer get this Jetmir. It's not, they're not redoing it literally ever. The same if you like this like cat and dog Soul Ring, which is such a cool
I get that
concept, right?
And I get that. I get that 100%. You guys know me. I'm very, very, very specific on the artwork that I get for my card because my jank is like that, right? Like I was just telling Slothy earlier, I missed the opportunity of getting an offer I can't refuse, the full art version for Foundations, because it had the book in it and it needs to go in my book tribal.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand that. Right? I paid $160 for a metal worker to put into my deck before. I totally get it. Once again, you don't have, like, if you want it, go get it. Okay? I totally get that. But that's not the point. The point is that we need to control ourselves here. We need to have self-control.
But what I'm saying is that you can't go get it. That's the point I'm making, is that it's not there's not the option to just go get it. It's not as simple as just go out and go get it. They're not available.
No, I get that. I totally get that. You're talking to someone that deals with collectibles and like video games and all that stuff. Exactly, like 100%. I totally get that. Like I still have like a copy of the very first Persona sealed. You know, like I totally get that you can't get certain things anymore, but people are going crazy over this stuff. Okay, this drives me nuts. People go crazy and they're like, I really, really, really want it. I totally get you really, 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 really want it. But first off, can you afford it? Okay, sure, I get it. Wizards dropped the ball when they did the queue. People found ways to get around the queue and buy like a bunch of them because they didn't put like a proper limit on things. Yes, I totally get all of that. Yes, Hasbro is a big problem because they put a limit on it. I totally get all of that. Okay? That's not my point. My point is we need to control ourselves. I want all of these. I waited in line for all of these. I didn't get them. Okay. Am I sad about it? Yes. Do I care? Not really. Because it doesn't affect my life that much. Okay. Hopefully, eventually, I will find a copy of it. Okay. And it might be super expensive. And yes, I will have to pay premium for it. I totally understand that. Okay. I've been there. I've done that. I did that with things like Soul Ring. Okay. Once again, going back to my book Tribal, I had to wait over a year to finally find a copy of the Soul Ring that can go into that deck. And I paid premium for it. I paid a lot. I totally get it. But that's not the point. The point is we need to practice patience. We need to see, do we really need it? Okay, talk to your group. Okay, be like, hey, can I just print a proxy? Or talk to people that make proxies. Be like, hey, guys, can you make this for me? And just, go from there. Right? There are other solutions than getting the original. And if you don't want to spend that much, fine. Print it on a piece of paper or write it down, whatever. I get it. It's a visual game and everything. I don't like it when people just write it on a piece of paper. Like, but at least try to print it out. Right? And that's the thing. Hey, Wizards will eventually improve on this, hopefully. Hopefully. They will improve on everything. Like, they make it so, like, they, like, people can't bypass the queue anymore, or they see how popular things is, they create more supply, all that jazz. I totally understand, but, like, people need to calm down at the same time.
But
I don't know.
You got.
I am very much of the opinion they need to go back to print on demand, because while I agree that, yeah, just proxy it out, it's much easier for people who, say, have been saving up for this. They hear it announced they're a massive Wolverine fan. They want to get the Wolverine card. It's much easier to get it right away when it's $40 and to be punished because of other people's greed. 3 hours later, it's $150.
Oh yeah,
So they can afford it at 40, but then once you price it out, or price it up rather, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's supposed to be a collectible card game, and like the War of the Spark edition Jace showed that the print to demand system just doesn't work. It just can't work, right? Like there's so many people, they constantly underestimate the demand for a product, right?
Yeah.
And then when you see that and stuff, like I said, I found, I have it pulled up on the side here. This is a $500 secret layer deck. It's not a deck worth $500, but those are your only options and stuff. Yeah, you could print and proxy the art that you want, but this deck specifically was about the cats and dogs, right? So you'd have to find somebody who's willing to proxy the official artwork on both sides of a card, which most proxy places won't do. They want a different back or different markings or a separate
Something to
art.
distinguish it a bit.
Yeah, right. Like most people don't want to print because there's a difference, I think, at least with like proxies and flat counterfeits, right? And
Yeah,
you'd have
100%.
to get this, you'd have to pay someone to counterfeit the deck, which is like a totally different thing from proxying like a few cards on it. Like again, if you like, my wife's a big animal lover, right? So like having the cats and the dogs part of it is really cool. It gives people that like ability to flip it over and like I know I don't even remember when this one was. It might not even be 2024. Like I know the Marvel one is the more recent and exciting one of it, but like again, I think it's been a very bad change to do it, and they just pump these things out nonstop. And again, if you want that artwork, I have a persistent petitioners deck. There's a version of those. If I want to like do the premium version of it, it'd be like a like $6,000 deck because of these, like, because I can't get the artwork anywhere else, right? Yes, you can get different artwork, but as I said earlier, I think Magic is a game that cares about the art. A lot of people want to build it and stuff, right? I know a lot of people that would build a Jetmir deck based on this like cool Jetmir sitting petting a cat, right? And that's not available in the other card.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the artwork a lot of times I build decks based on how cool I think the card looks or how cool it is in the story, not even really on what it does. I have a lot of just terrible decks, but they're on a fun theme, right?
Yeah. Plot twist is Rigo is actually just your favorite artwork of all time.
I like Rigo. Rigo looks silly. It's a cat in a suit.
Yeah, he's just a businessman.
Yeah, he's a distinguished gentleman. Yeah, it's just such a silly. Again, I've got it pulled up on the video there. It's just such a silly looking card, and I just think it's fun. I really like the. To me, it's very unique because of all of the hybrid symbols in it. I love Rigo. But anyways,
But
yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to talk about one of the other things. So.
No, go ahead.
We've covered it, I think, in 2 separate episodes. One of the worst problems of the year was how the bans were handled. They were handled extremely poorly. The community, not the community reaction. I'm not going to say the community reaction because it wasn't the community. It was a few people who were annoying. A few people did take that too far and threat. That's not the community. That's not Magic players as a whole. I didn't threaten anyone. I don't think anyone here threatened anyone. I don't think anyone that listens to us was like, I'm coming to your house, right? I'm not going to say the community needs to change because they don't. The community was just fine with it, but a lot of them were rightfully angered by the bans and stuff. I think that was a big problem, and I think Wizards like being in charge of the format now, I was like really hopeful for, and then they're just like, it's just the same people. It's going to be good, though, this time. And then they're like, we're going to do the bracket system, and we're going to have that. But that didn't happen. We got no bracket system yet. So it's kind of back to my exact same thing of like, I thought the rules committee was dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are still back in charge, but with a few more faces. But they're not like actually going to fully listen to them. They're all like an advisory group. And then they still haven't done anything. And the lack of public, like that was a big PR problem. It was a big problem for players. It was an issue. It shook buyer confidence. You should have something concrete. Like it shouldn't be just a like when you get to it kind of project. It should be like a chop. Let's go get this figured out.
Yeah.
So I'm a little disappointed. Like I don't think the bans were that long ago. Like when did that all happen?
They weren't that long ago, but like at the same time, like the bans were unfortunate, but at the same time, I think it's a good thing because Wizards is taking control, and I know there's good and bad about it, but like I am looking forward to the bracket system. I am looking forward to sitting down and understanding people's different power levels in a sense.
Everything
And
can't
I'm
be a
looking
7.
forward to and I'm looking forward to actual sanctioned, like prize supported thing, like tournaments and events by Wizards because of the bracket system. Sure, the band sucked, but at the same time, I think it is something that needs to push the format forward, and it can be a good thing when we look into it later on. Hopefully, like,
I'm still hopeful for
right.
it. Yes, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And in their defense, these bans were September 23rd. So yeah, like they've only really had October, November, and December to kind of work it out. Maybe I'm being a little too chop on it and stuff, right? So again, maybe they will have it. Let's see what 2025 brings on that one at least.
Yeah, like because they announce who's going to be on like the commanders like committee and everything, and it's a lot more people than just like 4, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's 4 and then the
that's
rules committee
helpful.
and then a few more people.
Yeah, and plus like at least someone to represent like the competitive side as well. So yeah, like it is unfortunate that the bans happen, but at the same time, with the bracket system, who knows? Maybe they will unban it. Who knows, right?
I can foresee
So
them unbanning at least one of the cards.
They use the legal terminology that they will, and they plan sets in advance. They're not going to leave their like staple selling cards banned and not sell them. Jeweled Lotus sells packs. Crypt sells
They can't
packs.
use Mana Crypt to advertise stuff anymore. So
yeah, so like a lot of them, I don't think Dockside will come off. We've talked about the bans and everything. I want to we're kind of coming close to the end of us. Like I'd like kind of everyone's thoughts of like just like an overview of like do you think Magic's in I ask the same question every year. Do you think Magic's in a good place right now? And do you think that it has like are you optimistic about 2025? And I'll let you guys go first. So whoever wants to take it away, either of those questions. Is it in a good place and what do you think of 2025?
I'll start it off real fast here. I think we're starting off well because of Bloomberg and Foundations, and like especially the new mechanics they introduced to both of those, and like like the design teams like doing really well. We're looking like I said before, like we're looking forward to what Wizards has planned for the Commander format going on in the future with like the bracket system and whatnot, and if they will have like sanctioned events because of the bracket system. Like being like a pro player for EDH would be really, really interesting for like whoever's interested for something like that. And like especially the prize support, because let's face it, like we get shafted when it comes to prize support. So
yeah, right. You build a $5,000 deck and get $20 store credit for winning a 20 game round.
Yeah, and like at the same time, like like if they do this, they might push more products like Commander Masters. I know the last Commander Masters stuck, but at that same time, they might push more products for Commanders overall, like just like the solo set. And I'm not because they're let's face it, you can't have Commander cards in every single set, like that are supposed to be standard legal for like the next 5 years. All right, I totally get that. Like they will have like 1 or 2, sure, okay, or maybe like a handful, okay, fine. But like having like so 1 dedicated commander set a year, maybe like 2 instead. That'd be crazy good. But at the same time, my wallet and my savings are gonna hate me. But that's besides the point. So, and once again, like with the Universes Beyond and stuff that's coming out, I don't care. Like I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, all that stuff. Like I love that stuff. Am I gonna buy boxes of it? No, it's me. I buy single. I don't care, right? But it's just the way I am. I just want to play the game. You give me something, I don't care what it is. I will find a way to mash it together. Like it is what it is. So you can attack me with like an Iron Man, and I'll still block with a Shivan Dragon.
Fair. Slothy, how about you?
Slothy?
I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword for me. I really, really was happy with how the year ended with Bloomburrow, Duskborn, and Foundations. Duskborn is one of my favorite sets of all time. But going into 2025, I feel like there's going to be a lot of decent changes Wizards wise, where kind of like you were saying with the sanction tournaments, the prize support, the just kind of like the extra support in general. That wise, I'm not excited. Like even just looking past the all the universes beyond, because like Sherman, I also enjoy Final Fantasy and Spider-Man. It's just kind of meh. Like there's a pod racing set in February. Cool.
Duretti in a wheelchair.
Yeah, Duretti in a wheelchair. Like, well done, I guess.
Who knows? Maybe they'll bring in pod racing from Star Wars to for a secret lair for that.
Yeah. Get in your lines early for that one, guys.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, overall, I am kind of in the middle. I really think they should consider doing more block type stuff. If they're going to be doing all of these like universes beyond sets, so then there's at least a little bit of something to tie you together. But yeah, that's kind of where I sit. I'm like right down the center.
I will say I am not optimistic for 2025's release schedule. There's really nothing I like. Tarkir's meh. So it's okay. Aether Drift, there's just no chance of me buying like it. The set symbol looks like a joke. Like there's no chance of me buying a box of that when it's just like I'm not really a vehicles player in general as is. And then it just, again, it seems like a campy set. Like I'm sure there'll be a Kellen card in it. It's going to happen.
Kellen in a wheelchair.
Kellen in a race car.
What if they bring out a secret lairs for Fast and the Furious though?
I also don't like Fast and the Furious.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's I cast Vin Diesel.
Dom Toretto has the offspring
many,
mechanic.
Yeah,
there's so many movies,
Family
so
mechanic,
it's got to be
funny.
popular. People are gonna watch.
But again, just because something's popular doesn't mean that it's good, you know? Sabrina Carpenter's popular, but I don't want to hear again my favorite bands play Sabrina Carpenter songs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear like any like Cradle of Filth's rendition of Juno. Like it's just not for me. You know what I mean? Like it just there's
all right. Check your inbox in a couple days. I'm working on something.
That's hilarious. Yeah, like it just again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Juno goes real hard with some double kick, but like just because something's popular doesn't mean I want it. You know, like it's just that. And again, like so we've got Aether Drift to me, Tarkir, it's okay. I'm sure there'll be like some okay stuff in that. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, not interested at all. I don't play Final Fantasy. I know lots of people like it, and at least it's kind of like in universe because they got swords. But again, just to me, that's an set. I don't play many video games, you know. And even the games I do play is like Diablo 4. It's like nameless character that I play. Barbarian, you know, you can't make a legendary barbarian of nothing. Edge of Eternities, no idea what that is.
Edge of Eternities is a space set that's supposed to be kind of like a space opera, kind of like Star Wars theming.
So Kellen in space, yep.
Yeah.
They've got Spider-Man, and then they just said they don't even know. They're like Universes Beyond.
Universes Beyond something or other.
Yeah, they moved the Lorwyn one back, which again I was excited for because I like Lorwyn a lot. Yeah, I just as far as the release schedule goes, it's kind of nice because it's good for my budget. I just buy a few singles here and there of cool things because there'll undoubtedly be cool cards in these sets. Like there's going to be, you know what I mean? There will be some interesting stuff, but that doesn't mean I'm going to buy a lot of the sets. And again, I very recently, so some of the decks that I've bought, I have a brand new Sliver deck, the Sliver Precon. Have not played a single game with it. Haven't played a single game with the Zamone deck, the Precon, and I haven't played with the Amanatu Precon. I've got all of them. They all seem fun. They're all I haven't edited them because I like to play at least one out of the box deck. So again, just like Sherman said, I liked a dedicated commander set. It was rough, but I generally was like, you know what, this is like right around my birthday time to save up a little bit of money and go silly. And now every set's a commander set. You know, like Aether Drift will have 5 commander decks, Tarkir will have 5. There'll be 4 Final Fantasy, like 4 Edge of Eternity, 5 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna Dr. Octopus, a Green Goblin, something about Venom. You know, so the Universes Beyond, I'm sure will have 5 as well. Like I think there was like 20 commander decks or 30 commander decks this year.
There was a lot.
There was 4 in Karlov Manor. There was 4 in. Don't tell me the answer yet. I'm doing the math.
In Fallout.
4 in Fallout. There was 4 in Thunder Junction. None in Assassin's Creed.
There's
4
in Bloomborough.
5 in Bloomborough.
Yeah. Where was it? 5 or 4? Oh no, it was 4.
I think it was 4. Yeah. 4 in Duskmorn.
Yeah.
So that's like 20.
I found the answer is 24.
24.
Yeah.
Well, which one did we miss?
There was the Universe Beyond, so the 24. I'll give you the quick rank of them. The Science one from Fallout's the worst, then Deadly Disguise. Revenant Reborn, Revenant Recon from Murders, which I think is a great deck. I don't think it deserves to be that low. I think that's a phenomenal deck.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Hail Caesar, Quick Draw, which I haven't seen anyone play, so I don't know about that one. They had the Dissa deck this year. That was great. I ripped that into a few decks.
Sherman. Modern Horizons. That's what we forgot.
Yeah, Sherman got the Omo deck, and that's a pretty killer deck out of the box. Grand Larceny looks fun, but again, I didn't play it. The Most Wanted from that one, meh. The Dog one from, what is the word? Fallout. Blame Game, Karlov Manor 14, Desert Bloom, which I bought. That's a great one. Deep Clue C, the Clue one's great. Endless Punishment, again, I think deserves to be higher. That's a great precon.
Yeah.
Bloomborough Family deck, the Jump Scare from Duskmorn, Peace Offering, the worst group hug deck I've ever seen.
Yeah, why is Valgavoth lower than Peace Offering?
The Valgavoth deck does what it should do.
Yeah.
We got the Death Toll again, a Duskmorn one, Squirreled Away, Animated Army, Eldrazi Incursion, Creative Energy, Mutant Menace, and the top one is Amanatu. But again, I think those were all pretty cool ones. But yeah, to finish off what I say, despite my negativity and hatred of a lot of the sets of the 55 versions of Kellen in different outfits, cosplay Kellen is not doing it for me. Despite not liking the release schedule that's coming up and the amount of release, I got a lot of negative points. I do think Magic's in a good spot. I think it's accessible to people. I think they've consistently been bringing the price down. The precons have just been phenomenal. The precons are great for anyone who's getting into Magic and stuff. It's not like your grandpa's old precon, you know, back in the day where I crack a Mimeoplasm deck and it would need substantial upgrading to be competitive in today's landscape as even an okay deck. All of these are good out of the box decks. They've been really, really good. The I can complain about like the Sliver land bases or some of the land bases they give us and stuff. But again, like even the lowest ranked things on this list, like Deadly Disguise, the Murders of Karlov Manor, that was a phenomenal deck out of the box. It was so fun. It had so many cool mechanics and stuff like that. I've seen Sherman play the Mothman one. I saw both of you play the Revenant Recon one, like out of the box, like fresh ones. And both of you guys beat face with that commander, right? Like they've, again, despite all of my negativity, I do think it's in a good place. I don't like the rules committee, and I've never liked the rules committee really. So that to me is not a deal breaker. I don't think that they're. I think that we should have the attitude Sherman said, where we give them a chance. We give them a minute to actually do things. We temper our frustrations a little bit and see what they do. Right? If what they do sucks, we can all say next year, it sucks. Right?
Yeah.
But we should give them the chance. So, like I said, I'm overall for 2025. I'm still optimistic about the future of Magic. I don't like the Universe Beyond stuff at all. I think it's bad. I think it degrades the game, but I still think the game's in a good place. I think that there's consistently more and more people that are starting to play. I've got lots of friends that are just like starting to play, and shockingly as well, like it's just a passive observation. You are seeing more females start to get into the hobby and stuff like that, be it from the Fallout games or the Assassin's Creed games. The video game stuff does seem to be attracting a newer, wider, like diverse audience and stuff, and that's pretty cool. I've got a bunch of female friends that have just started playing Magic, and they love to send me like pictures of like this and how does this work. Like they're super like at that excited learning the game part, right? And there's definitely some actual quote unquote magic in that time in our lives, like where we're learning the game, falling in love with it. So seeing more people play and more people want to be involved is great. It's never going to not be great. The only downside I have to it is that I do think the experimentation is pushing more established players away. They don't like the change. They don't like I want to play Magic. I don't want to play like version 9 of Magic, right? So you are having like some of your higher buying like normal clientele, you're having some of those people leave.
And kind of to that point, like with all of our negative points, this is all just our opinion. I will never, as much as I'm not a massive fan of how much Universes Beyond stuff or Secret Lair stuff they're putting out, if you show up with a Storm deck, I'm not going to tell you to go away. Like, this is all just opinion.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff I don't like, but I'll play anything. I will say though, yes, like you said, most of it's our opinion. It is factual. Kellen sucks as a character. That is a 100%. That is a fact.
That is the most true thing that we have said on this podcast in years.
We like basically never take a break. I think we take like a break at Christmas every year, maybe now. And I probably 20 times this year. We do weekly episodes, probably 20 times this year. I have said openly, Kellen sucks, no one plays it, blah, blah. And you would think that one person, we have a lot of people. I'm grateful for every person who spends any time listening to us. Thank you all, you're wonderful. Not one of you has ever pushed back on that Kellen thing. No one has been like, you know what, Daniel? Kellen actually kills it, and you're wrong. And you don't even have to elaborate. Even that, I would be like, oh, like one person on the planet agrees, but no one does. No one has. Everyone's just been like, yeah, Kellen sucks.
I have never once in the wild seen a Kellen deck in any variety.
Again, I'm Sherman's an interesting deck builder. I'm sure Sherman can build a cool one. I'm sure it exists conceptually.
I have one. I just gotta put.
That's fair.
I think, like I mentioned last night, that I want to try building in both your and Sherman's style. And the first thing that came to mind was for you to build a Kellen deck.
For me to build one?
For me to build one, but in how you would build it.
For how I would build
So I've just decided I'm not building Kellen.
That's okay,
because that's what you would do.
Challenge finished. Most of the Kellens have instants and sorceries stapled onto the card, so you know I'm not building it. Maybe that's where my disdain comes from.
He encourages you to play things that aren't creatures.
The Bant one is the best one of them all.
100%.
Because you can at least play from the top of your library.
I kind of wish that the Bant one did have red in it so you could play Edgin, but that's just nitpicking. It is definitely the best out of all the Kellens.
I would, to what you were saying, I think it would be fun to build a commander that we think is in the style of other players. I think that would be an interesting challenge to see, like, what does Sherman think? Like, how do I think Sherman would build this new card? How do I think Daniel would build this new card? No instance.
Oh, but if I got Slothy, I always do build.
Sorry?
If I had Slothy, I'd be like, oh, here's my Turgid deck.
That's funny.
Aw. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, those are my closing thoughts. Again, I think that Magic's not in the worst spot. It's a great time for singles. Great time for singles.
Mm-hmm.
That you should buy at houseofcards.ca with the promo code IT99. But yeah, no, that's I say we wrap there and stuff. Do you guys? We probably missed a bunch of stuff. There was, I'm sure, lots of controversies over the years. But no, like I said, I've got some negative personal views. I don't like some of what we're seeing in the game, but I think the game's healthy. I still think it's fun to play. The game isn't wrecked for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that while I'm personally not overly optimistic for next year, I'm excited to play Magic.
Yeah.
I still have the little bit of whimsy around the game, and I think that people are going to have, as much as I rag on it, people are going to build interesting SpongeBob decks, and they're going to come out and absolutely demolish me.
I like to be sorry again. I like to be wrong, and I wasn't excited for the Lord of the Rings. I thought the Lord of the Rings was going to suck. I thought Assassin's Creed was going to suck. Lord of the Rings was, like, I think, one of the better sets they've ever released.
Yes, 100%.
It was thematic. It was great. It really brought up food tokens. Assassin's Creed had phenomenal cards. I've played against a ton of Assassin's Creed's decks, like the Ezio Commander, the 5-color assassin. There's great ones, right? So I am often wrong.
Even like the Capitulant Triad that we were kind of ragging on when we were talking about it, I've seen some really, really cool stuff that makes it work.
Yeah, I think that's like an interesting commander, the one that gives you that, like, emblem.
Yeah, the 9/9 emblem for getting rid of 30 mana worth of historic stuff.
Yeah, like there's definitely some interesting stuff, right? People never cease to amaze me with their ability to build fun and interesting decks.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Any closing thoughts here, Sherman, or are we wrapping her up?
No, I'm done.
Bam! We hit the song. Thank you guys for getting through here. If you like what you're seeing and hearing, like, share, subscribe. It's the best and easiest way to support us. It's free. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast so you get it every week. If you want to go in above and beyond that, come over to Patreon. I promise I'm much nicer. If you build a Kellen deck, I won't be mean and bully you over here. But come build decks with us and everything. It's like as low as $1 for some of it. Just come hang out with us. Nice private chat. We've got lots of great, amazing patrons who I really have to, like, thank. Do a big scroll by name and stuff, but I've been busy and I've been sick. So thank you everyone who is on Patreon and supporting us. If you guys want to get any sleeves for decks, AI armor sleeves, they're just great. We're doing a really cool charity giveaway with them. They're shipping around a bunch of dual lands. We're gonna sign a set of 2 of them. They're gonna auction them off for charity and stuff, which is really, really cool of that. Their AI armor is just great people, and again, great sleeves. They're like my favorite ones right now. They've started doing deck boxes. They're wonderful. Other than that, houseofcards.ca, it is going to be the best place for singles. I really like them. They've always got a great stock in. Yeah, other than that, I just appreciate everyone. I hope everyone's got a good year. I'm going to try to be optimistic about it like I just said that I should, and that's it. I'll try be more patient with some of the silly stuff they do. That's it. Yeah, I give us our screen. I let it roll a little bit. We just give everyone a little bit of music. Happy New Year.
All right, later's all.